Saudi Arabia is the third largest producer of oil in the world, and the country's economy is based on it. However, they want to reduce their dependence on oil in the future and therefore want to switch to tourism. That is why a government program was created, within the framework of which they want to build projects worth $1 trillion. Today we look at the biggest and most expensive mega projects of Saudi Vision 2030. Number 10. Expo 2030. In 2020, the Expo, the world exhibition aimed at introducing different nations and cultures to the world, was held in Dubai. In 2030, it is planned to be held not far from here in Riyadh. Several countries submitted their applications for the tender, but in the end Riyadh won. Although Dubai previously spent $7 billion on the event, they now want to spend $7.8 billion in Riyadh. A 6 million square meter complex will be built for the event, which is necessary because around 40 million visitors are expected for the worldwide event. Like Dubai, there will be pavilions and 246 participants. These will be international organizations. The event aims to showcase Saudi Arabia's developing economy to the world and create a historic expo that will be an unforgettable experience for all visitors. It is expected to be completed by 2030, just in time for the expo, but construction has not yet begun. Number 9. Riyadh Metro. It is the most expensive metro in the world and one of the largest transport development projects. Building a 6-line, 176-kilometer-long, 85-station subway network from scratch to reduce car traffic. The stations will be the most beautiful in the world. One of these is the Kafd station, which is perhaps the most unique, but Western Station and Downtown Station are also interesting. But what happened to the project and when will it be handed over? The Riyadh Metro has actually already been completed and was supposed to be delivered in 2022. This did not happen and the opening was only postponed. But since it was not finished in 2023 and was only partially handed over, the completion is uncertain. But according to the latest developments, it will be handed over this year. It will then cost $22.5 billion. Number 8. Riyadh Green. Although the previous project is partly related to the greening of the city, the government would contribute to this with further developments. One of these is the Riyadh Green project, which aims to make Riyadh one of the 100 most livable cities in the world. Within the framework of the project with a budget of $32 billion, 7.2 million trees will be planted. Irrigation of these will be a serious problem, and for this reason a new sustainable irrigation system would be created, which can supply the trees with 1 million cubic meters of water in addition to the current 90,000 cubic meters of irrigation water per day. In addition, they would create a park called King Salman in the middle of the city, which would be 4 times larger than New York's Central Park. This park would also make the city green and provide visitors with a relaxing opportunity to switch off. Number 7. Sports Boulevard. They want to build several parks in Riyadh, and we have already seen a few of them. The next one is one of the most expensive projects in the world and will be a sports facility. First of all, it will be 135 kilometers long and we are talking about a linear park. It will be divided into 8 districts and will cost $28 billion to build on 4.4 million square meters. In addition to the sports facilities, there will also be residential areas, and the goal is to create an investment zone, so it will contribute to the country's economy not only with tourism, but also with investments. The project started in 2019, and the people responsible for the project began to be appointed. The project is already under construction and will be delivered in phases between 2024 and 2029. Number 6. Jeddah Economic City. Jeddah is the country's second largest city, and the government seeks to develop not only the central part of the country, but also its western coast. Economic City will be located north of Jeddah, which will be a $30 billion smart city with real estate, hotels, ports and skyscrapers. Among the towers, the tallest building in the world, the Jeddah Tower, will rise, which is planned to be more than 1 kilometer high. There will also be a plaza at the bottom of the tower. But now that we know pretty much everything about this new part of town, let's see what happened to it. The construction of the Jeddah Tower started but stopped in 2017. Although there were reports that it would continue in 2023, the latest news came in October, when they started to call for tenders to continue the project. But even if it were to continue, it would take several years to complete, but the height of the Jeddah Tower would set a record and the city would also be useful for new workers. Number 5. Rua Al Madinah. Besides Mecca, The other Islamic holy city is Medina, which is also the center of Islamic pilgrimage. Tens of millions of people make the pilgrimage every year. Called Rua Al Madinah, the project will be a 1.5 square kilometer city that will include 47,000 hotel rooms. The project was announced in 2022, but no substantive action was taken until 2023, when agreements began to be signed with hotel chains for the construction of hotels with thousands of rooms. This is necessary, because if it is opened, it will welcome 30 million visitors a year, creating about 90,000 new jobs. The price of the project is $37 billion, but according to the plans, it will be completed by 2026 and will contribute $37.5 billion to the Saudi GDP by 2030. Number 4. Mukaab. There are many cube-shaped buildings in the world, but in Riyadh they are trying to build an entirely new neighborhood called New Maraba. In the middle of this, an interesting building will stand out, called the Mukaab. Like several previous projects, this will also be a real estate development project that will create more than 300,000 jobs. But then let's get to the point. Mukaab will be 400 meters long and wide in all directions. With 2 million square meters inside, it will be the largest building in the world and could fit up to 20 Empire State Buildings inside. Despite the fact that it is actually one of the most unique buildings on Earth, it has received many criticisms. First of all, because it resembles the Kaaba stone in the middle of the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. But otherwise, the shape of the cube was inspired by the Maraba Palace. The price of the project is $48 billion, which will make it one of the most expensive projects in the world. Number 3. Renewable Energy Projects. Environmental pollution and non-renewable energy sources are really serious problems, and the problems are also known in Saudi Arabia. The country's desert and constantly sunny location favors mainly solar energy, but the project also includes projects related to wind energy. Although this will not be a specific investment, but rather 80 megaprojects scattered across the country, it does contain a few specific projects worth mentioning. One of these is the Jeddah PV solar power plant, which will be one of the largest solar photovoltaic power plants in the world and will be completed by 2025. The Dumat Al Jandal wind farm is the largest wind farm in the Middle East, and it has actually already been completed, and has been operating since 2021. In addition, for further environmental protection, the country held the Smart Grid Conference in 2023, within the framework of which 120 speakers campaigned for renewable energy and the use of electric cars. Number 2. GCC Railway. The GCC Railway is not entirely Saudi Arabia's megaproject, but it is a fact that the 1,700-kilometer-long railway along the Arabian Gulf runs mainly through Saudi Arabia. In 2018, the country opened the first high-speed railway line between Mecca and Medina, and the trains are among the fastest in the world. In addition, there is another railway line in the country between Dammam and Riyadh. But the country wants to expand its railway network, not only with the $250 billion GCC Railway, but also with additional railway lines, such as the project known as the Land Bridge, which will run between Riyadh and Jeddah. Connecting the two cities would be important if only because the fifth busiest flight in the world is between Jeddah and Riyadh. In addition, the Land Bridge project would include the continuation of the former Dammam-Riyadh railway line after Dammam to the city of Jubail, but this is actually already part of the GCC. The country would spend approximately $300 million on railway development, thereby speeding up trade, goods and passenger transport. Number 1. NEOM. Saudi Arabia is about to build one of the most unique cities in the world. At least that's what many people think when they hear about the NEOM project. But in fact, this project includes 5 others, and the government is going to spend $500 million on it. This makes it the most expensive project in Saudi Vision 2030, accounting for more than half of the total budget. The most characteristic is the line, which will be a 170-kilometer-long smart city between the Red Sea and the Jordan Mountains, equipped with all kinds of technology. The city will be built between 2 mirror walls, which will be 500 meters high. The other is Oxagon, which will be an industrial city and a key port due to its potential location. Sindala will be a luxury island with hotels, vacation homes and all kinds of exotic recreation opportunities. The project is special because it will be handed over this year and will be key to the other projects. The most interesting project is Troyina, which should be completed by 2029, as Saudi Arabia will host the Asian Winter Games. It may seem interesting that such an event will be held in the middle of the desert, but mostly artificial snow will be made with snowmaking machines. In addition, Trojena will host all kinds of future constructions that will popularize this engineering marvel. Another important project will be the Gulf of Aqaba, which will also consist of several sub-projects, mainly hotels and resorts, and these will be scattered along the coast of the Red Sea. What do you think about Saudi Arabia's megaprojects? Write your opinion in the comments, and if you want to see more content like this, support our channel with a subscription. Thanks for watching, see you next time.